Welcome to the channel Pearls of Wisdom. Today, we will tell you the story of a man who found balance between the West and the East, between academic education and the ancient monastic practices of Shaolin. Get ready to be inspired by this unique journey of self-discovery. Before we dive into his fascinating story, I invite you to subscribe to the channel Pearls of Wisdom for many more contents on spirituality and self-discovery. Let's begin. There is the training of the mind, the development of behavior mixed with physical training, all aspects of what is now known as Shaolin Kung Fu. Good morning. It has been a privilege to grow up in two very different ways of living. I was born in Germany and at the same time had the opportunity to learn the ancient art that came from the Shaolin temples. When you grow up in an Asian family, it is very common that you do not argue with your father. And secondly, you become either a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. Otherwise, your parents become sad. So, after laying this groundwork, I completed my academic education, obtaining 2 degrees, a master's in economics, and a large collection of various certificates. Everything my parents believed was useful to have. But while studying these things, I felt that something was missing. I was learning a lot of different aspects: how a plant works, how an atom is made, how a political system works, but somehow no subject taught me anything about myself. At the age of 4, I was introduced to monastic practices for the first time, and I was very happy to discover that these practices led to the exploration and discovery of myself. Now, contrary to my parents' wishes, who turn to the market and try to manage the world, I have chosen to continue the monastic life and begin by learning things about myself. While preparing this speech, I was asked to share a few phrases about what is important in life. Understand, it is already very difficult to talk about 3 decades, but the picture I want to build with you summarizes what I consider valuable in life. There is something about sharing, something about connection. There is the training and development of oneself. There is enjoying your time even if you are doing nothing, and a key aspect is finding a way to do the things we like to do. When I received the invitation to give this speech, especially looking at the slogan "High, Higher, Highest," it reminded me of a story that a master from the Shaolin Temple once told me. I would like to share it with you. A man lived near a mountain, and every day he thought about what it would be like to climb that mountain and what he would see from the top. Finally, that day came, and the man started his journey. At the foot of the mountain, he met the first traveler and asked, "How did you get to the top, and what did you see from there?" The traveler shared his route and the view he had. But afterward, the man thought, "The path that this traveler described seems too tiring. I must find another one." So he continued walking until at the foot of the mountain, he met the next traveler and again asked, "How did you climb the mountain, and what did you see at the top?" Again, the traveler shared his story. Still undecided on which way to go, the man asked another 30 people. When he finished asking people, he decided, "Now that many people have shared their route with me, but most importantly what they saw from the top, I no longer need to climb it." It was unfortunate that this man never climbed the mountain. To conclude the story, every individual must find the way that best suits them to climb the mountain. But most importantly, what can be shared are the words. But it is impossible to share the experience of climbing and enjoying the panorama from the top. Investing the right effort to climb this mountain is what Buddhist practices, Shaolin training, and all other spiritual practices are about. Clarity means seeing more clearly. When you see clearly, interrelations become more visible. When you see clearly, there is no need to believe in anyone else, to believe in anything else. Seeing clearly means being able to choose for oneself the best direction to take and the decisions to make in order to make one's goals and ambitions a reality. In today's seminar, you will have the opportunity to be inspired by many different travelers. But in this specific speech, I cannot and do not want to tell you which path to take. Along your personal journey, you will encounter challenges. Some challenges will slow you down. Others will even stop you from climbing this mountain. In the Shaolin Temple, we refer to them as the 5 obstacles. The 5 obstacles describe the different states of the mind. In these states of mind, it becomes difficult to see clearly and therefore make the right decisions. The first obstacle is called sensual desire. This develops when you pay attention to something that gives you positive emotions. These positive emotions can originate from 5 doors of the body: sight, hearing, smell, taste, or touch. So in your mind, imagine you are climbing the mountain. After a mile, you find a beautiful restaurant, surrounded by wonderful people. You smell delicious food and see a great variety of drinks. When you follow this temptation, you have already abandoned your path. When this temptation becomes so strong that you no longer want to leave that place, then sensual desire becomes an obsession. In either case, staying in that place means that you cannot achieve clarity. The second obstacle is ill will. It describes the mental state that develops from negative emotions. In that mental state, you have aversion, rejection, simply a dislike for doing something towards an object, a situation, or a person. To simplify, it means you are climbing the mountain and it starts to rain. You do not like the rain, you find out the roads are bad, and you do not like them. To cross a river, you have to swim, but you do not like swimming. Whatever the thing you do not like, it will make your journey unpleasant. Unless you learn to let go of this feeling, it is very likely that you will abandon the journey. The third obstacle was originally called sloth and torpor. Sloth is the heaviness of the body. Torpor is the confusion of the mind. It is characterized by sleepiness, lack of motivation, lack of energy, and often manifests in depressive states. In Buddhism, a similar thing is described as imprisonment. You find yourself locked in a cell, and it becomes very difficult to make any physical or mental effort to continue the path. There's only one option. You have to find a way to escape from that hole, from that cell. The fourth obstacle is restlessness. It is the state in which the mind is unstable. An unstable mind fears the future or travels to the past, suffering and judging an event that occurred in the past. A comparison used is with the mind of a monkey jumping from one branch to another without staying focused on the present long enough. The problem is that there is no more time to see clearly. The last of the 5 obstacles is skepticism, which is closely related to the state of mind based on indecision. In this state, it is very easy to get lost in thoughts. Can I do it? Is this the right path? What will others say if I do this or that? The mind is no longer able to synchronize with your actions, and the result is that you disconnect from the goals and operations you once set for yourself. When the path is filled with doubts, you will stop more often than you will go forward. Now that we know the 5 obstacles, what do we do with them? You need to align and structure your life to prevent the development of these obstacles. If you do not succeed, you will have to use techniques to remove them. Each of these obstacles places a dark cloud in your mind or on your path to your climb. Remember one thing: let it rain. It is a method of 4 steps to help remove these obstacles. The first step is to recognize the state the mind is in at this moment. Then you must learn to accept, understand, and allow the situation or person to be as it is. Investigate your mental and emotional state and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What will be the consequences if I remain in this state? And lastly, non-identification. The practice, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not my emotions. I can only see these 3 aspects of myself. All our lives are too unique to copy the paths of others. To bring meaning to your life, to bring value, you must learn, succeed in mastering yourself, and not let the obstacles stop you. If any of you decide to undertake this climb to clarity, I will be happy to meet you at the top. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a comment below, give it a like, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel Pearls of Wisdom for more inspiring stories and life lessons. Until next time.